My beloved child, can you sense it rising in the unseen? The gentle tremor underneath your soul. The one that doesn't come with noise, but with undeniable truth. There is something divine awakening within you. Something I planted before you ever cried your first tear. I know you've walked through ruins, through nights that felt endless, carrying memories that whispered lies about your worth. I saw it all. Not one moment escaped my gaze. But hear me now. This is not the continuation of what was. This is the collapse of what could no longer carry you. I am not adding a footnote to your pain. I am rewriting the architecture of your entire life. From the ashes, I am building something brand new. Not renovated, not repaired, brand new. You've stared at the cracked walls of your past for so long that you began to think that was your home. The disappointments, the shattered dreams, the people who left without explanation. Those pages were loud, yes, but they were never the final chapter. They were only the threshold to what I have always intended for you. You were never meant to make your bed in the place of your breaking. The enemy came to convince you that the silence was my absence. But, oh child, the silence was sacred. It was the soil where I began forming the roots of your future, deep and wide. While you thought I had turned away, I was digging deep beneath the surface, making space for something greater than you dared to imagine. I have never been far. I have never forgotten. I have been gathering every fragment of your brokenness like a potter gathers shards of clay, not to throw them away, but to create something more beautiful than what existed before the breaking. The world called you lost, but I called you mine. The world tried to define you by your detours, but I define you by your return. You have mourned the years you thought were wasted, but let me whisper to you now. Nothing was wasted. Not the weeping, not the waiting, not the wondering. Every ounce of agony became a stone in the foundation. I am laying beneath your feet. I do not waste pain. I transform it. I redeem what others discard. This rebuilding I speak of, it's not delayed. It's not coming with conditions. It's already begun right here, right now, in this very breath. While you still carry unanswered prayers and dreams that feel too fragile to mention aloud, I am already crafting the masterpiece. You see a mess. I see a miracle in the making. You've worn exhaustion like a second skin. You've learned to smile while feeling hollow. I know how heavy your hope has become, how often you've nearly let go. But you didn't. Even in the smallest breath, when all you could offer was a sigh, I was present, and that was enough. Do not mistake the silence as abandonment. My voice has been speaking in other ways. In the sunrise, you almost didn't notice. In the stranger's kind word, in the breath that rose in your chest despite the ache, these were my echoes, reminding you you are not alone. You have never been alone. You ask me, but why did it have to hurt? And I don't dismiss your question. I hold it gently, because I know it's not just curiosity, it's grief. But let me say this. The pain that touched you did not destroy you. It refined you. And the tears you thought were signs of weakness became the water that nurtured unseen seeds. What was torn from you will not be your end. What broke you will not define you. What wounded you will not be wasted. I am not simply returning what was stolen. I am giving you what the past could never contain. Can you feel it now? That quiet shift in your heart? The places that once felt hollow are being filled. The dreams you buried under fear are being exhumed. You are walking into a time of divine restoration, not because you earned it, but because I delight in giving it. You are not rebuilding alone. My hands are over every brick. My breath is in every corner. And this time, child, the walls will not crack. The joy will not fade. The foundation will not shake. Because I am not just writing a new chapter. I'm rebuilding your whole life. My child, I know what you've buried beneath your silence. The quiet heartbreaks, the whispered regrets, the questions you stopped asking because you thought the answers would never come. I've seen the days where you moved through life like a shadow, present in body, but absent in spirit, waiting for something, anything to remind you that you're still alive inside. And though the world moved on without noticing your ache, I never did. I was there sitting beside you in the invisible moments, collecting every sigh like a precious gem. While others overlooked the weight you carried, I counted each tear as sacred rainfall. You thought your life was falling apart, but what you didn't see was that it was falling into place into my hands. You've mistaken delay for denial and the stillness for punishment. But I want you to understand, the waiting room was not wasted time. It was the sacred space where I was pruning what couldn't stay and preparing what would last. I never intended for you to merely survive. My design for you has always been abundance, peace, joy that overflows, not joy that flickers and fades. But to build what I have always intended, I had to tear down what was built in haste and fear. I had to break the cycle you settled for, even though it broke your heart to watch it end. You cried out, thinking I didn't hear. But what you didn't realize was that I was already moving, just not in the way you expected. You looked for me in the noise, in the quick turnarounds, in the loud victories. But I was working in the roots, in the depths, where your eyes couldn't see. I was building a foundation in you so deep that no storm could shake it. Yes, I allowed things to be stripped away. I allowed the counterfeit to collapse. I allowed the dreams you thought were everything to be removed, because they were too small for the destiny I've written over your life. Child, what I am building in you requires deep soil. It requires patience and surrender. It requires trust that holds even when answers don't come. And you've shown me your trust. Even in your doubt, even in your trembling, you still stayed. You still whispered my name when it hurt the most. That is worship. That is love. And that is why I am rebuilding. Not just because I can, but because you are worth it. Every ounce of what I've planned for you is drenched in love. This new thing I am doing will not resemble the past. It is not a repetition. It is redemption. I know you look around and wonder why others seem ahead, why their paths seem smoother, why their joy seems effortless. But I have not called you to comparison. I have called you to intimacy. The story I am writing with your life is unlike any other. I am not interested in rushing what must be rooted, because when I build to last. And what I build in you will not collapse under pressure. It will not crumble in chaos. It will stand because I will be the one holding it together. There were moments when you almost gave up, weren't there? Moments when you questioned whether it was all just empty hope. But I want you to hear me now. Every time you felt like breaking, I was reinforcing the core of who you are. You are not fragile. You are not forgotten. You are being fashioned, refined in fear, not burned by it. You've walked through valleys, but you didn't die there. That matters to me. The strength you didn't know you had was my spirit in you, lifting you when you didn't even ask. I gave you breath when the weight felt suffocating. I gave you quiet courage when all you had was silence. And now, child, can you feel it? The wind is changing. The shift has begun. The pieces are not random. They are part of a masterpiece that I have dreamed for you since before time breathed its first breath. I know the timeline doesn't make sense to you, but trust me, I am the author outside of time. I see every scene, every plot twist, every silent cry, and I promise you, none of it is wasted. The very dust of your despair is the clay I'm using to sculpt your future. You are entering a season of unexpected grace, not because you earned it, but because I love to restore. I delight in taking what was written off and writing something glorious in its place. I am restoring your joy. I am restoring your peace. I am restoring your sense of wonder. You forgot how to dream, but I haven't. I still remember the prayers you whispered through tears. I still remember the hopes you didn't dare speak aloud. I've kept them safe. And now I am breathing life into them again. Not in the way you imagined, but in the way your soul truly needs. I am not patching holes. I am rebuilding from the ground up. Every brick is laced with purpose. Every beam is held by promise. I am removing the fear that once ruled you and replacing it with boldness that can't be shaken. Where there was shame, I am writing honor. Where there was loss, I am planting legacy. Where there was confusion, I am declaring clarity. This is not simply a repair, it's resurrection. So rest, child. Let go of the panic. Loosen your grip on how it should look. I am not asking you to figure it out. I'm asking you to follow me. I'm not building according to human timelines. I'm building according to eternal glory. And you will see it. You will stand in the place I've prepared for you. And you will say, only God could have done this. And in that moment, you'll realize I never left you. I was never silent. I was simply building slowly, tenderly, faithfully. I'm not just writing a new chapter. I'm rebuilding your whole life. My beloved, can you hear it? That's still soft stirring deep within your chest. It is not just emotion. It is me gently awakening what the world told you to forget. You thought certain dreams had died, that too much time had passed, that you were too far gone or too worn out. But I am not bound by what you call too late. I speak, and time yields. I breathe, and the old becomes new. And I want you to understand this is not the end. What you thought was a full stop was only a pause. What you assumed was failure was preparation. And what you believed disqualified you was the very thing I am using to qualify you for what comes next. There is so much more to your story. So much more that I have written beyond the pain, beyond the betrayal, beyond the chapters you wish you could erase. I'm not erasing you. I'm restoring you piece by piece, layer by layer. I'm rebuilding you into someone stronger, wiser, softer, and more powerful than ever before. You no longer have to wear the armor you built to survive. You are safe with me. You can breathe again. You can hope again. I know you've been let down. People have promised forever and disappeared. You've carried the weight of expectations only to be left empty. But child, I have never once turned my face from you. My promises are not like the promises of man. I do not speak to impress. I speak to fulfill. When I say I will heal, I heal. When I say I will make a way, I open doors no one can shut. I have seen the nights you wept in silence, afraid to even speak what you were feeling because it felt too heavy. But I sat with you in that silence. I carried what you couldn't say. And now I'm turning that silence into song. Your pain has been heard, and your healing has begun. Do not be afraid to begin again. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You're starting from revelation. You're starting from me. I have gone ahead of you, clearing paths that once seemed blocked by impossibilities. I am moving people, orchestrating connections, aligning events, not by accident, but by divine design. You do not need to strive. You need only to trust. The pressure to be perfect has no place in what I am doing. I am not using you because you are flawless. I am using you because you are surrendered. You keep wondering if you missed your moment. Let me assure you, I am the God of restoration. And I waste nothing, not even your mistakes, not even your detours. Every part of your journey has been woven into a greater tapestry, one you cannot fully see from where you stand, but one that in time will take your breath away. I've written your story in grace, and every thread of loss, every strand of sorrow, is being transformed into a thread of glory. What you lost, I will replace with more than you imagined. What was stolen, I will restore sevenfold. You may have been broken, but you are not beyond repair. You are being rebuilt by my own hands. And hear me when I say you don't have to do this alone. You were never meant to carry this life by yourself. I am with you, not just watching, but walking beside you. I am the whisper of wisdom when the world is loud. I am the calm in your chaos. I am the peace that makes no sense and the strength that rises in your weakness. You have looked to others for confirmation, but now I am calling you. Look to me. Stop searching for validation in voices that don't know your value. I created you. I know the weight of your soul. I see the gold beneath the dirt. You are not ordinary. You were born to carry my light. So let the old things fall away. Let the guilt go. Let the shame melt in my presence. You are not who you were. You are not what they called you. You are mine. And I call you chosen. I call you clean. I call you redeemed. Yes, you made mistakes, but your mistakes do not make you. My mercy does. My love does. My truth rewrites the names the world gave you. You are no longer abandoned. You are no longer overlooked. You are not broken beyond use. You are the very vessel I've been preparing for such a time as this. This is the season where I show you why it had to be me. Why the relationships didn't last. Why the doors didn't open. Why the silence stretched so long. I needed to bring you back to the place where my voice was louder than their opinions, where my approval meant more than applause, where your strength wasn't based on how well you hid your pain, but how deeply you trusted my purpose. The beauty of what I'm doing in your life is that no one else will get the credit. Not the connections, not the timing, not your own strength. You will look back and know it was me. Every breakthrough, every provision, every healing, every moment of joy that seemed impossible, it will all lead back to me. And your testimony will not be a tale of survival, but a song of transformation. So don't rush the process. Don't despise the small beginnings. What I am doing now may feel quiet, even invisible, but trust me, it's holy. The seeds I'm planting in this hidden season are going to bear fruit in ways that will surprise even you. I'm not just giving you back what you lost. I'm giving you what you never even knew to ask for. I'm not just opening doors. I'm building palaces. I'm not just healing your heart. I'm restoring your purpose. You're not just a chapter in someone else's story. You're a masterpiece. I'm unfolding word by word, moment by moment, and I will finish what I started in you. No matter how many times life has tried to silence your voice, I will give you a new song. No matter how many days felt like endings, I will show you they were only beginnings. And when the time comes, and it's coming, you will rise not with fear, but with fire in your spirit, knowing you were always meant for more. I'm not just writing a new chapter. I'm rebuilding your whole life. My child, I have watched you carry burdens too heavy for your shoulders. Whisper prayers you weren't even sure I heard. Walk through fires that threatened to consume every part of you. But you made it here, even when you doubted, even when you almost gave up. Something deeper, something I placed within you kept pulling you forward. That was me. I've never let go of you, not for one moment. And now it's time for you to see what I've been preparing behind the scenes. The foundation I'm building in your life isn't made of fear, shame, or regret. It's built on grace, on love that doesn't shift with seasons, and on purpose that can't be stolen. I am not just patching up your life where it cracked. I am removing the old stones that were never meant to hold you up. I'm rebuilding you from the ground up, stronger, surer, rooted in truth that cannot be shaken. Your days of surviving are giving way to days of thriving. I want you to know this. You haven't missed your destiny. You haven't ruined what I planned. My purposes are not fragile. They are not derailed by detours or delayed by your tears. In fact, those very tears watered the soil of what's about to bloom. You've been sowing in weeping, but you will reap in joy. Everything you thought was lost, buried, or wasted, watch me redeem it. Watch me multiply it. I've seen how others passed you by, how they couldn't see the treasure I placed within you. I watched as you questioned your worth based on their absence, their silence, their rejection, but they didn't define your calling. I did, and I never overlooked you. I've been shaping you in secret so that when you rise, you won't just be seen. You'll be unshakable. I don't prepare ordinary people for ordinary things. I've been refining you like gold in the fire. And now it's time for you to shine with a brilliance that comes from knowing whose you are. Let go of the labels they put on you. Let go of the lie that you are too broken, too late, too unqualified. I use the wounded, the overlooked, the ones who feel like the last pick. Because I don't choose based on what man sees. I choose based on what I created. And I created you with intention. Before you took your first breath, I wrote your name into a story of redemption. I have plans that will unfold with precision and beauty because I don't start what I won't finish. And child, I'm not finished with you. You may feel like you're still in the middle of your mess, but I'm already holding the blueprint of your restoration. You may feel like you're barely holding on, but I'm already securing your foundation. The ending you're afraid of. It's not the end, it's the turning point. The breaking point you feel right now is just the ground giving way to breakthrough. Even now, I'm speaking into dry bones, commanding life to return. I'm breathing into places you thought were dead. Relationships, dreams, even your confidence. I'm resurrecting it all. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is too far gone. And when I rebuild, I restore everything with interest. You'll laugh again. You'll dance again. You'll love again. With a heart no longer guarded by fear, covered by my protection. There is more ahead for you than what's behind you. The voice of regret is loud, but my voice is louder, and I am speaking renewal over you. The past may have shaped your wounds, but it does not shape your future. I do. I'm not just handing you a pen to rewrite your story. I'm handing you a new scroll, clean and unmarked, and I'm writing with fire and favor. Where there was sorrow, I will inscribe joy. Where there was confusion, I will write clarity. Where there was despair, I will script deliverance. I need you to see what I see. You see brokenness. I see potential. You see what you've done. I see who you're becoming. You see delay. I see divine timing. Don't rush what I'm unfolding. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be for what I'm about to release. And what I'm doing in you isn't just for you. It's for those who will be changed because you chose to rise. People will look at you and wonder how you made it through. And you'll say, it wasn't me, it was God. That is how I received the glory. Not through your perfection, but through your transformation. When others thought it was over for you, I was just getting started. When you thought you lost your purpose, I was refining it. And now the wait will make sense. The wilderness will make sense, because you'll see that what I was building in the silence was far greater than what you were praying for in the noise. You are stepping into a season where your story becomes a testimony. Your struggle becomes strength, and your faith becomes fire. I'm not just healing your heart. I'm igniting it. I'm not just opening doors. I'm giving you keys to unlock others. You'll become a voice for the silent, a light for the lost, a safe place for the broken, because you allowed me to rebuild you from nothing into something sacred. So stand tall, my child. Let your soul exhale. Let peace anchor you. Let my love rewrite every line the world tried to scribble over you. This is not just a new chapter. It's a divine rebuild. And this time, your story won't just be different. It will be holy. Amen.